Hello and welcome back to my update diaries. Last time we went over 1.6 and its surprisingly solid output of levels, so now we arrive at 1.7. This update brings us tons of new decorations and more importantly the speed portals. Can 1.7 keep up the quality of 1.6? Let's see. This is my update diary for 1.7. Now, 1.7 is the update with the most levels prior to 1.9, 661 levels here, and they are some of the worst levels in all of pre-1.8. They're not quite the worst, I still consider the 336 levels that spawned from the rift in spacetime between 1.4 and 1.6 to be worst, but Christ, some of these levels are absolute ass. Now, the quality of the early levels of an update are almost always dependent on the main level from said update. A Giant Weezer early 2.0 was the way it was, is because both Geometrical Dominator and Deadlocked are pretty bad at introducing all the new 2.0 stuff. 1.7 brings us Electrodynamics, which is one of the best main levels. However, it feels like Rob's rating standards are way lower here when compared to 1.6. Levels like Nox's, P-Tex, Black and White, and Clockwork only prove my point, really. Fortunately, while the lows of 1.7 are very low, its highs are also really high. When done properly, the 1.7 fast-paced and colorful style is one of my favorites of all the old updates, and it leads to some genuine bangers. I love most of the Electrodynamics remakes from this update. They are so fun. Timescape is a fantastic level, Dimension Machine is really unique and one of the best map pack demons, Death Drive is a really good level despite the update, Starry Sky is great, Prohibited Prison is one of the best old demons in all of GD, but yeah, that's most of the good stuff. A lot of this update just consists of the same creators making the same levels over and over and over again to farm creator points. Viprin made 21 levels, Jazor made 20, Mindsap made 14, Glitter Shroom made 17, and those are just the guys that either started here or in 1.6. Previously known creators also spammed levels this update, like Zentek Alpha, who's nowhere near as bad as 1.6 because he mostly made non-demons and easy demons here, but still. Experience Dawn is the same as ever, True Nature, Rublock 5, Darnock made a couple of levels, Jelt made one of the worst non-demons of all time, and so on. I could list creators for like this for a while, but just know that only some of the people that I talked about in 1.6 remain prominent figures here. Most either quit like Black P2S Full, or only made a couple levels in this update like Kamijo and Palin. Some new actually interesting creators that started this update include GW Nis 15, who made some really difficult levels this update like Area Nis 15 2 and Absolute Atom, and Jerkrat, who I'm pretty sure everyone watching knows. Robbuck made 6 medium demons in this update and all of them suck. I will never understand how Robbuck of all people was the person who invented the mod system, because holy shit, his levels are genuinely horrendous. I did not enjoy a single one. And while we're on the topic of awful creators, Zelink is back, because of course he is, and this time he brings us 2 of the hardest levels in the entire update. Darno Clubstep is a hard demon that I managed to fluke the shit out of, and I could not be more thankful about that, and Rainbow Sense Finale is one of the weirdest things I've ever played. Something I do find interesting about Zelink, however, is that he manages to encapsulate every problem with the bad levels of 1.7 perfectly. The object color trigger was our first sign that giving the community more colors to work with was only gonna end badly, because holy shit did people not know how to use that thing. So give them more colorable objects, what's the worst that could happen? The answer is levels like Transparent World by X-Dream, Drawn by version 20, and pretty much all of Defectum's troll levels. You probably know Can't Let Troll, that one hard demon. Well, did you know that Defectum made troll levels of every level before Can't Let Go as well? They're all from 1.7 except for Can't Let Troll, and while Stereo Madness and Dry Out aren't too bad, Back on Track, Polargeist, and Base After Base definitely are. I said in 1.6 that while the easy levels are pretty bad, the harder levels are pretty good. Yeah, that's not a thing anymore with 1.7. A lot of the really bad or annoying levels are demons and insanes. I already listed off plenty of the bad insanes to prove my point there, but I have one more that I really want to rant about before talking about the demons. Chess Maze by Jelt is one of the worst levels I have ever played in all of the old updates. The middle of this level contains one of the worst memory sections I've ever had to learn. It's atrocious. Anyway, I haven't listed off too many demons yet outside of Robbuck and Zelink, so let's do that. Bleached Heart is a hard demon that got the Red World treatment of getting completely broken by update 1.9 and is now only possible via a secret way that's really hard to pull off. Most of Majako's medium demons from 1.7 look really good but play absolutely awfully. Dark Matter is a perfect example of this, and that really sucks because levels like Treasure Mine look really good for the standards of 1.7 but have to suffer a lot from the bad gameplay. The Castle by Starbomb KR is really annoying, and I was really lucky to have already completed it before starting the update. The 2 insane demons here are probably the second hardest so far. The Janus Miracle and Primary Maze are both really difficult and unique levels, the latter of which being the former hardest legitimately verified level, so that's pretty interesting. Yeah, that's about it. I cannot recommend 1.7. While the highlights are really solid, the lows outnumber them by quite a lot and make the update a long and annoying experience to complete. So if you want to play 661 levels of both insanity and monotony at the same time, I'll leave the list IDs for this update in the description. That's about it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you if I ever do 1.8.